Hi guys, my name is Sandy. I'm a homeschooling mom to two boys. They're currently in 5th and 7th grade. And we've been homeschooling for a few years. The first few years that we were homeschooling, we were on a really tight budget. My husband was finishing up his doctorate degree, and there just wasn't a lot of money to spend on curriculum, but we still wanted to homeschool. We felt that it was definitely the best thing for our children. And today I thought I would do a video on how you can still give your children a really good education when you don't have a lot of money to spare. So let's get started. Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about homeschooling elementary on a very tight budget. You can still give your children a good education. I'm going to go by each subject and tell you what worked for each of them. I'm going to talk about math first. Our first year homeschooling, we didn't have a whole lot of money at all, and we didn't have a computer either. The first year for math, we ended up using Easy Peasy, and it works on a tablet. So that one tablet that my kids were using, and they shared it, they did their Easy Peasy math on it, and of course we supplemented with a few math apps and games. The other thing I bought for math the first year was a Spectrum workbook for $5 from Amazon, and it was just so that they could get some paper practice, as I didn't own a printer to print up worksheets for them. And if you do own a printer, I would recommend education.com or Teachers Pay Teachers for very, very good websites for printing up free worksheets. We've always loved Easy Peasy Math for elementary levels. They have an online and an offline program, and of course the online program can work with the tablet, and you can use both in conjunction with each other. Their offline program is like $10 for the workbooks for the whole year. This is the teacher guide, and I also have a separate worksheet book for them, but the price is really, really low and it's so worth it. And of course, if you're on a tight budget, Master Books is a very, very good option also. You don't need a computer for the program, and you can get all of your subjects for a whole entire grade level for about $180 for the whole year. This is their math. So you have a few options for language arts. My favorite places, the first year homeschooling and still, would be to hit up the thrift stores for reading books, for the silent reading for the children. I purchased all of these from a thrift store. I think it was the Goodwill. They charged me about 10 cents a piece, so it's even cheaper than having to go to the library and pick out books. And they're all classics. You've got Call of the Wild, Huckleberry Finn, Tom Sawyer, and Treasure Island. And one of the other options you have, of course, is Easy Peasy, which I have done with my younger son for several years, and it worked really good. And another option would be The Good and the Beautiful. And the way I would keep costs down with this, because you still do need a printer and ink, is I would print up all the black and white pages myself and put them in a binder. And then any colored pages that came in the main workbook, I would just purchase the book. And you still don't need a computer to work this program if you purchase all of the books that it includes. And also, I like to go to Amazon to buy new workbooks for supplementing. My older son had trouble with reading skills. I bought this for $5 from Amazon. And Spectrum workbooks from Amazon are a good source too. They're like $5 or $10. More books to supplement that I've bought also. This came from, I believe, thriftbooks.com. It's handwriting, and I must have paid about $5 for it. And then this cursive writing book, I've paid about 10 cents for from the thrift store, and it wasn't filled in at all yet. And I had also found this atlas from Half Price Books for probably about $4. Whenever I buy these books used, I do wipe them down with Lysol wipes just to make sure they're super clean. And then also, if you have a little bit of money for handwriting, you can go with the Good and the Beautiful handwriting. It's about $10. So it's still a really, really good price. And it's worked really well for my younger son, mainly because he loves the activities on the bottom of each page. So for homeschooling science, we've used this for several years now. We've used and loved the BJU. I do the teacher-led, so I do teach the children myself, or I have been in the past. And we always buy them used. I think I paid about $5 for this book, and it's not in the most perfect shape. You can see it's a little bit messed up in the corner. But, you know, for $5 for the main book and for the teacher edition, and it's a really, really good education still. It works out well. And of course, in the early elementary, I don't believe in the test, so I did not buy the test with it. And if you don't have a printer, I would recommend getting the workbooks to go with these also, just because you wouldn't be able to print up additional sheets. What I would do for extra practice in science is I would print up sheets from education.com, Teachers Pay Teachers, or even Easy Peasy sometimes. And of course, from the thrift store, I had found these for like 10 cents. And I have a lot more. I probably had like 50 books at one time. When we moved, I sold a lot of them. But you can find really good science books for supplementing at thrift stores. I found a lot of eyewitness books over the years. And of course, YouTube and Amazon Prime and Netflix are really good places to show science documentaries to supplement as well. If you're on a really, really tight budget when it comes to science, you don't even need to get the textbook with the VGU set. All that you really need is a teacher's edition. And see, the teacher's edition happens to have the textbook pages inside of it. So you could just read the textbook pages to your children. And of course, you get the help with the teacher's edition of having additional activities and questions to ask them and answers written on there. And the thing I love about BJU is the science experiments in the younger elementary grades are really easy to do at home. They're all in here. You can find all the supplies pretty easy. This one's potting soil and a ruler. And they are in the teacher's manual, and they're also in the textbook. So when you buy the teacher's manual, you don't really need anything else to teach the whole science course. History is the last subject I'm going to go over, and this is one of the easiest to put together your own curriculum. For early elementary, I recommend Evan Moore History Pockets. It says 4 to 6, but when my son got into 6th grade, he was kind of bored with these. But I bought this used from thriftbooks.com. I paid about $5 for it. And it was, a few of the pages were ripped out, but they were all there. And you do need a printer when you use these. And for higher elementary, I love these books. I bought these used, $5 or $7 a piece. They are the 4Kids series. They all contain 21 activities, and it's a very, very good spine for older elementary. You've got map work, you've got so many pages of real photographs, and there's a lot of actual hands-on activities that don't really take a lot of supplies, and you can just do it at home yourself. And I have 2 of them left. A lot of them I've given away. And of course, for history, I found a lot of these for 10 cents at the thrift store. And these are great for supplementing history with the children. They're just picture books. Here's one on Monet, Squanto's Journey. And this one was from the thrift store. It used to be a library book that somebody had donated. And for elementary history for the earlier years, with the Evan Moore, I would use this first spine for the ancient history. This one covers Rome and Romans, pharaohs, Vikings, knights and castles. And it has a lot of information, a lot of pictures in it. My kids just loved going through this. And we use this partially for spine too, and we also had used a DK encyclopedia. So that's basically how you can give your kids a really good, rich education without spending a lot of money. One thing I wanted to bring up is Amazon's a really good spot to get cheap workbooks that are brand new, but I would stay away from buying their used books. Every single time I bought a used book from Amazon, it was like written in or torn up or missing pages. So for buying used books online, I would recommend half-price books, thrift books, or even eBay. I've had really good success. So I hope this was helpful. Bye!